Okay, hello ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Pacific Grand Western Railway. Today we've got a conversion video to do where we're going to be converting, putting this Tyco SD24 shell on to an Atlas SD24 drive. Now I did discover by looking online that there is two pieces broken off the end of this SD24, that are from the bottom like a cow catcher. Pilot is broke off each end. I never noticed that when I bought it until I was looking online in the Tyco catalog, but that's okay. I'm hoping I can fill the ends in. When I fill the ends in to put body mount the couplers, I'll build a pilot on the end of it, or I'll buy a plow. Maybe I might put a plow on the end, one end, for like a snow plow on one end, and I'll make a different type of pilot or something like CN has on the modern locomotives at the back end. With that, this is what's going to be going on to is this. I have this brand new Atlas. You'll probably have seen it. I bought it in an earlier video. Had a thing on it. So we're going to unbox it. These were the early Atlas locomotives they come out with in 1975. They've come out with these. These are made by Rocco for Atlas. And at the time, they were the best locomotives on the market. They were the first locomotives, diesel HO scale locomotives, to have the full width, proper width hood, scale width hood. All the other Astra and everything that they have, you see them, you got just a little bit wider hood on them to compensate for the motor. These have a more thinner can drive motor in them, so they made the actual scale width hood, everything. They're really nice models. They're exceptionally heavy. They're really good pullers. They're smooth. They're powerful. They're operate the dual flywheels. They were kind of the best in their time today. The only thing Rocco really messed up on was these fuel tanks. If they would have milled them down and made a plastic cover to go on them, they would have had the cat's meow. Plus, if they would have made cabs interchangeable, so you could take the cabs off and on, they could have did a better job on the doors of the cabs. That's the only two places they could have actually improved. But rather than that, the trucks, everything, they're pretty nice locomotives. However, if you'll see, this one has got what they call the winterization hatch for colder climates like Canada and the colder climates, where this one does not. So other than that, you'll see the two, well, if I put one above the other, I guess, you'll see the two different things. They're just a slightly different variation of SD24 shell than the Atlas. This one here is not as good as an Atlas, but it's better than most of them. I can fill in other things with the old Tyco mounting things at a later date when I get going. But other than that, it gives me a different version with fans and everything. So that's what the thing is. So that's what's going to happen. We'll also test out this Atlas before we take it apart. Take the body off it. And also this morning, or well this afternoon while I was getting ready, I pick up cans and bottles for the railway fund for buying parts and pieces of off of Facebook or eBay or whatever I need. And I had one of those pickers you get out of the dollar store for picking up the cans and bottles. Well, they're notorious for breaking if you sneeze the wrong way. Well, take them on apart. I discovered they had these beautiful little nice wires inside of them. So I got a couple of my alligator clips. Like just the ordinary standard electrical alligator clip. Like that. I put them on, got a small pair of water pump pliers. Pushed them down so they squashed them down so they fitted the wire. Got the soldering iron out. Flowed some solder onto them. Then when I had that done, I got the trusty lighter. I heated these up, held it down below. Heated these parts up to the red hot. Got the solder. Whoops. Unfortunately, it fell aside. But I got the solder. Let me pull this out. Once it was red hot, I just took the solder and went down from the top, let it bubble in, and it'll suck itself down. And solder them on there. They're good and tight. And now I got a couple of clamps for holding stuff or for painting. So what you can get yourself, this is just one I use for parts. But get yourself a 1x2. You can drill the holes in it wherever you like. And you can fit these into there. They'll hold it tight. And you can make it as long as you want. You got a 1, 2, or 3, whatever you want for holding parts, pieces, bodies, shells, whatever you want for painting. You can also get some little rubber cups I'm going to find, see if I find, that you can slip on the alligator parts so that when you're doing something like a plastic locomotive you don't want marred, you can put some little rubber cups on them, keep them from getting marred. But for doing electrical work or any kind of other work, they're good for them and they're cheap to make. So rather than throwing the rod out, and alligator clips are not that much, you can buy a set keep on hand. And when you ever get a rod like this, you can cut them down and make your own paint clips. So you can make them any size you want. You don't have to be that long. These are 10-inch a piece. You don't need them this long. You can make them down to whatever size you want. So always tips from the workbench. Never throw anything out, as a model railroader would say. You never know what can come in handy. So with that, let's get on to the video. And we'll give a brief demonstration on my test track here to see how this Atlas locomotive works. It's brand new, it should do, but we'll test it out anyway. So with that, let's get our hands dirty and get at it. Let me put my binocs on so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. We'll hook up our power wires. And these Atlases are, I highly recommend them. They're usually well, what do you know? We got light. Well, it'll be a gosh darn. This is the first time I've had an Atlas that's never worked. But we're popping the shell off, so we'll have a go at it inside and see what's going on. Could be just sitting for a long time. Everything's gummed up and hasn't been running on oil. So these are pretty robust locomotives. Now, I don't want to scrap this shell because I'll use it down the line for another one. There's inside of them. Whoopsie! Don't want to break my wires. I need those handrails. There's the weights. We're going to reuse those too. They're extra weights in the Atlas locomotives. So I'm going to reuse all those. So that shall be put aside for a minute. And what is another thing about these Atlas locomotives is that they have what they call oil impregnated worm gear. So they hold the oil pretty good, but it does look like it's a bit of corrosion. It could be. We'll put some oil on here, give everything a taste. Then we'll put him on the track. It seems to be turning over free. It could be just not being used. Everything's pretty dry in here. It needs a bit of a taste to get everything spinning. We'll just get the power leads without the track and see what we can do. Come on, little girl. There we go. As I said, not been sitting for a while. There she goes. Just been sitting for a while, everything's dry. Sometimes the brushes get a little bit of sulfate on them. They coat up a little bit, or a little bit of dryness on them. They don't make proper contact. And you just need to burn in and reset and part and get a little bit of the scum off them. And I think he needs a good oiling. There we go. So I'll give the trucks everything a good oiling and oil the motor bearings up a tiny bit more as we get going. Okay. I've never had too many times these Atlas locomotives have ever failed too much. Unless you do something silly with them or drop them or hook them up to AC instead of DC, which a few people have done. Okay. Now we'll show you the shells are pretty darn close there for the fittings and everything. Everything looks pretty almost like these shells were made by Roco for Tyco. But this is the part that's broke off. This part here is the part that's broke off the Atlas locomotive. Or I mean the Tyco locomotive. But other than that, I think I can make a new one, put something different on, unfortunately. But at a debate right at the moment, I'm going to use these air tanks and horn off this one. I'm not going to think, but I'm at a debate right at the moment whether to use these handrails or buy a set off of eBay for Tyco handrails. I'm debating that right at the moment. We'll see how it goes during the day. But I am going to take these weights out of here, because we are going to need them. See if they'll fit into Tyco. They should. They should. Oh yes, they should be able to fit them in there. And incidentally, these weights are all the same, front and rear. Okay, this one don't need this done. This is a... Okay, I got to... well, I can either do something a little different with the body in there, or I'll shave that out. We'll shave that out later date. We'll get it on the body, on the chassis, then we can do the fiddling stuff, as they say, later. And also here's the lights and bar that goes into Tyco locomotive. I'll just see what we got to do to fit this. I believe the notches have got to be out a little better. Yes, I just got to file these notches. I just got to file these notches back a bit on this chassis, both ends. Then we're going to have to drill the hole for this mounting tab. But other than that, it's going to be a fairly simple. These are the screws to hold the motor in. These are, and also the gear tower on these Atlas are the same gears. Whoopsie. That's okay, it needs to be, oh, looks like it's kind of being polished up a little bit, dirty. But these are the same gears and worm gear as the Model Power Roco chassis. Roco used same gears in both their Atlas locomotives and their Model Power locomotives, which is really handy. But I don't really want to take the trucks off, but excuse me. Excuse me. Allergies. And always when you want to film something. Also, this Atlas 24 has got a slightly different, this is the Atlas. It's like with, Lost it. It's got a different fan or exhaust stack. This one also has the things on it for steam generator for passenger service. So this one is a steam generator equipped shell, or SD24. So this one, once I get on here, it can film. I can also interchange it with a passenger engine for the Pacific Grand Western passenger trains. It'd be nice. Now, I'm just trying to I don't really want to take that off. Maybe we can gently do it sideways and just file these. I don't think I gotta take much off it. Just make sure you keep your truck out of the way so you don't hit the truck. I'm also looking at another Tyco SD24 shell online. I'm trying to get some more money together. If I get that one, I might make a SD24 low nose that we used to do back in the 70s. You take a Tyco GP20, cut the nose off it, cut the nose off this one, drop them together for a low nose ST24. I know there's new models of it, but as my girlfriend would say, I'm old-fashioned, as Sam Hell. I'm not going to take it back too much because it's a trial and fit. You can always take more off, but you can't add more on. Or as Uncle Ernie would say, you can always chop a chunk off, you can't chop a chunk on. Eventually, I am going to, when I repay them to my Pacific Grand Western color schemes, I am going to take them all down, and I'll eventually mill this part down, and I'll send to Atlas and get plastic fuel tank cap off a newer SD24 and put it on there. So how are we making out with that? Oh, okay. We do the back now. This might be a fairly simple conversion. What I'm trying to do for my railway is keep all either Atlas and Model Power Roco drivetrains and chassis, where they all interchange together, MU together, and they're all the same motor system and gear system. They interchange nicely together, and there's no conflicts with locomotives. It's all right now with these new DCC fellas. You can probably speed match and do a bunch of fiddling around and get the engine's MU together. But to me, I like the old-fashioned way where you're engineer and fireman, two of you together. You're manually operating the switches and uncoupling and not pushing buttons on a controller to do everything. To each their own. And again, folks, this is a trial and error. Oh, this is the front. The light bulb's always front. Okay, we gotta take the back. We gotta notch the ends in a bit. This one. Got you a bit on an angle. Easy to correct. It says it wants this filed off. And we'll do this in all four corners, like that. We're just going to do the same thing on the front. This is fairly soft metal, so don't get too rambunctious with your file. Ouch! That you don't want to do. And I have this nice soft little paintbrush I got out of the dollar store. It's handy for doing this. Okay, that's not looking too bad. I see there's a couple of now we got to. Where's I do with my? Hang on a second, folks. Let me grab my. Cradle. And this is going to be there. And I need to take this off. And I need to take that off. Let's see what we got back here. Yeah, those two pieces I need to shave off. Those two. Okay. Okay, those are easy enough to take off. If I can find my other little tool here. You just got to remove these little tabs, 3 little tabs here. That can be. I don't want to go too exuberantly. I don't want to go through the running board. This, folks, is old school. This is how we used to do it back in the 70s and 80s before all these fancy rapidos and DCC and all this stuff came along. This is old school kit bashing, which once you get at it is actually kind of fun. It's okay for lots of people can afford to go out and pay $600, $700, $800 for a locomotive. Not all of us can, and sometimes doing it this old-fashioned way, you have the bragging rights that, hey, you put that locomotive together yourself with your own bare hands. And that's part of the fun of the hobby, that some like to have their DCC equipment and their sound locomotives. Personally, myself, I think one of them, sound equipped, is a novelty. Any more than that gets to be kind of a noise, as far as I'm concerned. But, and as I say, I like to be able to walk beside the train and work the controls, and if you have another person with you, your wife or girlfriend or another club member or somebody else in the hobby comes over to visit, they can run as a fire switchman and conductor, and he runs the switches, controls the switches and uncoupling while you run the locomotive. You work together as a team to get your train around the layout. Is, to me, is much more fun than just standing there pushing buttons to uncouple and recouple and throw switches and whatnot. I kind of like to be hands-on. I know my girlfriend is trying to convince me to go modern a little bit. I did try. I bought that MTH locomotive. However, it failed to convince me to go modern. Oh, okay. Where are we at here? Oh, nip. Okay, nip a few things off at the back, or, oh, there are two choices. File a bit of the frame down, and I think I'll file a bit of the frame down. Just these nubs are a little bit slightly different. Well, they're slightly thicker than on the Atlas, that's all. So that's easy to fix. We shall just put this out of the way again for a minute. And we'll just take a little bit off each of these nibs. Doesn't need much. Oops, I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to break that. What I'll do is I'll file them on an angle. It'll fit around the wrong part of the nib. Oh, this gets fraught with danger. You know what? I think I am going to just take a bit off the nibs instead. And this gets fraught with danger on my trucks. I do not want to mar my trucks. Hang on. I have a garbage bin, folks. On the ground here is what I'm putting the stuff in. No panics. So, set this on there again. Okay. Don't need much, just a bit of this one. My point's off my blade. It would be. This is actually a fairly easy conversion. Let's see what I'm doing in there. I'm just taking a little bit of this edging off. I would have took the chassis all apart. I could have just filed the chassis out and fitted it in. But being it's all complete and brand new, I didn't figure we needed to get that much involved. One of these days I got to get out the test layout again and get it tuned back up, and so I can run some of these equipment. Run around in circles for a bit and break themselves back in. Well, this one's going to be broke in, period. It's never been ran or broke in. It's probably been sitting since 75 or early 80s. 80s, it's brand new in its original box. Okay. I got these nibs to do inside, but we'll get it fitted to the chassis first. Well, it looks like it's okay. So we got to, I'd say it's right. Okay. What we're going to do, we're going to do it with a small hole first. And gentle with these drills snap pretty easy when they're small. And they should be able to pop them off. I'll use the load. God thank the man who invented Dremel. If he's up in heaven, Lord, give him a pat in the back. And incidentally, for you new folks, Dremel and Craftsman are the same thing. Dremel made them for Craftsman. So parts are all interchangeable. I think if we... Well, almost catchy. Now what we can do is this little trick. And easy does it. Well, we'll see how we... Okay, I see we might have to take just a little bit off the inside. Ah, maybe just a whisker. But that's actually... I want to take a bit more off the ends of the frame. And that one needs a bit more off of there. Other than that, she's clipping on there. Those holes are about lined up. Whoops. Well, they're working. We're just going to take a little, take a little off the inside here. Dang, I wished I would have noticed these pieces missing when I was looking for these shells. Oh well. Not the end of the world. Everything else is pretty good. It's the case you really got to when you're looking on eBay or even Facebook Marketplace or SD and other places. You really got to study the pictures really well. Sometimes you can find a little something you weren't expecting when you get it. And you will find, especially on Facebook Marketplace, what you consider new and in good condition is a lot different than the person that's advertising it. What's in good condition to them is in junk to us. And while I'm at it, I'm just going to take these nibs off the inside. Well, nope, we got something else with that. This, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the best tools I've ever made. This was an Atlas. This was an Atlas snap saw. You can get them at any hobby shop. It's the name on it, Atlas snap saw. These are for cutting brass track. They cut brass track, nickel silver track, and all that. You'll also find on the workbench they're extremely good for cutting anything, plastic, anything. But what I did is I cut one. You'll see how I cut one down and took this part off it, top part off here, and I just made just a blade. And as you can see, this here is just a ticket for getting in and doing this. Just like that, ladies and gentlemen. Whoopsie. it's under that light bar, so that should work. And as you say, once you've used one of these, handy as all get out. I think I just dropped it. I will get it later. Okay. That all looks to be. Don't think I need to worry about those because. Let's see. Ah, that's down there. Okay. Well, it works now. They're seem to be. Whoopsie, we lost a little bit of flash. Sometimes when you get locomotive, just check that over, ladies and gentlemen. There's just a little bit of flash on the truck here. It could hold up, but it seems to be in there. It seems to be on there. Okay, what we're going to try and do now is we'll put the glass back in for now, because it's going to be a bit before it gets painted. It'll probably get painted when I'm down in LA, more than likely. So, get him running for a day is the thing. For this video anyway. So we're going to we'll use this, run gently, see if we can push. Their tanks off. We might have another set of these, I don't know. No. They okay. Just got to elongate the hole, so we'll just got to move these holes a bit further. If you're doing this, again, go easy. You don't need that much off. Unfortunately, I didn't get the tanks or the air horns with this shell. They were missing when I bought the shell. I wasn't worried for the fact that I'm pretty sure I might have another set of those Atlas ones around somewhere. I just don't feel like hunting them up right at the moment. Okay, just a tad more. Right there. my pencil here. Oh, nice. And there we go. I'm just going to put just the tiniest little bit of cement on one pin. Just to keep him in place. Now, this horn will come off the same way, gently. Then we'll it does. Well, could be just let's get here, just needs a touch. There we go. There. Okay. Let me get a box of parts. I'm just going to put the number boards in everything until they get painted, and I can take them out again. At least I'll be with the locomotive. And these you just get them in the, lined up in the hole, sort of, kind of. I just should just, oh, maybe it's the rear one. Okay, that was the rear one. They just pop in like that for his number boards. And the other ones are for my other conversion shell that's going to be happening. And there's a bird wanting to play. There we go. So the front ones, this fits in here. Oh, I think that's got to come off. That's what's got to happen, as I recall. And now I got to find that tool I dropped. So used to dropping everything, I actually put a light under my workbench to lit the floor up. So I can see the little pieces I drop. So we're just going to take this. This has got to come off because of the bulb and this stuff in here. I'll do this so you can, over here where you can see what I'm doing. This one's starting to get a bit dull. I need to actually make another one. I don't want to scratch my end window glazing. No. So where is it? This back here. See if these will go in. So far so good. So, frame snaps in, that is, we're okay. Okay, the front one's not going to work. That's okay. Okay. Modifications to do here. Seems we need to cut this down like that. No problemo. Can be done. I'm using an Atlas saw to fix a Tyco shell onto an Atlas body chassis. What the problem is, folks, is this here is too wide to go in between here. I think I need one of the bigger. hate hitting my workbench. That might be all I need to take off. That one side. Put that chunk out of the middle. Take this. Take this out of here like this. I wonder if I can file that faster. Oh. Try that. Again, this is all trial and error. It just fits down in there. Let's see what is. I should take this front one down the same way. This works faster by filing. Chewbacca. Something is still. Oh. Mind the background, ladies and gentlemen, just somebody's having a flapping fit match. They like to flap their wings at each other. Males just kind of, males being males. Gotta go down just a bit more yet. There. I think this has got to come. Like the Atlas, just up a little bit. Square him up. Something like that. All I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm making the hole kind of something like that. We'll see if that did any difference. Getting close. Okay. I think I'm going to take them shoulders off of there. I think I'm just going to take this straight down to there. And maybe make them on. Like that. Okay. Oh, this one makes you can put a light in the rear of it if you wanted to too. Okay. Oh, that seems to fit down amongst everything. The bulb's a little close, but snap it in. And what is holding this up at the front? It's sitting on there. Means a bit. This is going to come out on an angle. Ah, I think I might see something. Pardon me. Might put that big block away with the others. Oh, so I did. It fell over. Okay. No, it's got to be this side. I'm going to do both sides just for the hell of it. This is brittle plastic, so if you're doing this, careful, ladies and gentlemen. pretty sure Roco made the bodies for these as well as the Atlas. These are pretty darn close to the same locomotive. What the devil is holding my front end up? And what is it holding up on? Oh, see? I think I see the culprit. Maybe if we could take a bit off of that. Yeah, of course, you'd solder it together. This is also very brittle. Take a bit off that brass. Ow. Where's that level? Well, it wasn't quite as simple a conversion as I thought it was going to be, but it's okay. Those are part of the deals. Wouldn't be any fun if it was too easy. You gotta go right up to the light bulb. Cool. You know what? I ain't got snapped in. Well, I think we got one more little tune-up to do. Which I'm going to leave up. These are, I don't really need. I think I'm going to do tightly. I don't know if I want to take any more off of here because of the steps. Maybe just a tiny little off of here, like so. What I'm going to do is just take a tiny little smidge off of here. Something like that. You're not going to see it that much. Yeah. And we got a brown pigeon's a little bit mad I'm not playing with him and playing with this stuff. Which were all the grumbling beside me's about. This is just so that the frame here clears the steps. You get just a little thicker steps here than the Atlas one does. Oh, that's not good. There we go. Perfect. Now we'll see if we get the lights in. Okay, I think a tiny maybe I leave that out and see what happens. I'll put this in. The other ones don't have it. Oh, I see. Oh, we'll see if it will go in with it. No, I think I'm going to leave them out for now. I might later date cut a little hole in there. I'm not going to do that today. Figured I have the wrong end in here. Oh! Well, I guess that would help you put the right end in the locomotive, my friends. We'll see if this goes in here. And the front one's not going to go in. Okay, lots of them, they have the front one out when we lower the nose and whatnot, so I'm not going to worry about that. There's a turning, nose a turning. And it looks like it's flat on the chassis. So, okay. So the only other thing now is to spare pieces, spare parts, goes in the Atlas repair box. And just to see if these Atlas handrails fit easy, not too much problems, I might use them. So it's going to cost me about 30 bucks or more to get them on eBay, so we'll see what we got here. This one has a little doohickey I got to remove. Just a teeny bit of flash, like that. We'll see if they fit on. Where's my grill? Well, not exactly. So, okay, I think I'm going to order the SD24, Tyco SD24 handrails. Well, now, wouldn't that be something off of eBay? I'll put his original Tyco. They're plastic too, but they're just a little bit different than these ones. There we go. So this can go back on the SD24 shell. The shell can go in for stock, for parts. Yeah, these are just, oh, okay. Alrighty. Hey, I'm missing a number board. That I never noticed before. Well, son of a gun. Missing a number board. Oh well. I'm sure I got one. Okay, so let's put this thing on the track and see if it's still going to go after all this. Out of the way. Let me get my test track up here. I don't think he's fully on the track. Wheels don't look that dirty. Girl. Okay. I think our contacts here are dirty and loose. Yeah. Oh. Okay. That would explain the problem. Ladies and gentlemen. Put it on the soldering iron to get warm. Yep, we get this out of there. Push this gently there. Power pack off. Snapped off from sitting around and banged around in shipping, and hell knows how much treatment this thing's had. Even though it's new in its original box, they can get bumped and banged around, and over time these things happen. Now this is going to be a bit fun getting this on there, I have to admit. Don't really want to kind of go like that. Oh, that's where the third hand comes in handy. I'll put a spot of solder on that in a minute. Let the gun heat up a couple of more minutes. Should be able to hold that on there if time comes. Whenever you get a locomotive that don't run, especially a fairly new one, always just check your electrical connections. Just give the wires a gentle tug, because like I say, they have been sitting. There's possibilities they could do like this, just come unplugged and soldered. It can happen to the best of them. And these things, they call them a third hand, or the cat's meow. Do anything like this. Now, get that back in there. Put you back and contact the motor. And if all is well in the world, good old Atlas should go. Whoa! Yeah, okay. Sorry about that, folks. Forgot to turn the power back off. Oh, wait, there we go. There we go. I'm just going to do this and his wheels a little bit too. And he's going the right direction and everything. He'll coast more as he gets worn in. Okay. Now we'll get all this back down here. And I think I'm going to put just a tiny little piece of this stuff back here. Just to keep all that down. This has got to go down like so. I'll just put this tight on there. Okay. Just to make everything a little neater. Oh yeah, stick to my finger. I won't use the garbage. Okay. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, come on. Well, now why don't you want to go? Ah, I keep turning the damn off button on instead of the direction. I think it just needs to be run in. Oh, quite a bit of fooling. I think he just needs to be put on the track and run in. I'll put him a spot of oil down his oil hole. If that maybe makes him light a little bit better. There we go. Circulate that oil around. Give him a run in now and he'll have a... So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. One Tyco, whoopsie daisy. There. One Tyco SD24 show sitting on an Atlas chassis. Yeah, he needs, give him a run. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as I say, I think I'll order the handrails off of eBay for it. That'll be the factory Tyco handrails. So other than that, I'll close in. Now it's on here. I'll close in the couplers pockets. I'll maybe make my own kind of a body down there to fill them in. Fill in the front pilot, and I can buy a pilot, or I'll get a plow. I think I might have one. I'll put a plow on the front of this one, and when I close in the couplers, front end and front and rear, and put a set of Accumates on it. But these sections here, I'll get some evergreen styrene in these things, and I'll fill them in with evergreen styrene. Then I can just notch the slot for the doors in them and trim them off flush. Then I'll fill those in. I got one at the back to do too. And put his handrails on, and there's the two different locomotives, the Atlas and the Tyco. And like I say, this one is a winterization hatch for the cold climate. This one's got a little bit different smokestack. And this guy's got passenger compartment steam heating, steam generating unit in it for passengers. So it, I also see I got to put the plate on the front for the sand hatches on the front of it. That can be easily done. But other than that, they're pretty good looking locomotive, and it gives me a little bit thing. I got to put the handrails on the front. That all can be done. These ones are going to be took off and put on with metal ones anyway eventually. But this is a good body now that can go in the parts compartment for. I have another chassis. Later date I'll do something with it. If I do pick up the other Tyco chassis, I'll do the same thing. I'll put it on a Atlas drive, but I'll show you what they do. They buy these Tyco GP20s. They remove the cab and graft it on there so that you have a low nose SD24, because there's got the rounded cab, everything. They fit right on there. You can make a low nose SD24. You just remove this cab and pieces on there, and that to make the low nose. So that'll be the next project down the road when I get one, if I get the other chassis. This guy, I'll show you. This one goes. This has got the MU2 motor in it. I got to remove the couplers and body mount the couplers, and I just got this guy. I haven't had a chance to do much with it yet. So I'll see if I can tap that into place. Actually, the Tyco recommends this, tapping them in, but this one I might leave it CN. I'm not sure yet, but we'll just, while we're here, I believe it goes. It just has to be tuned up. He's going, yeah. And, you know, he actually goes pretty nice for an old Mantua Tyco. I think he probably needs a new traction tire, but okay, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, he needs new traction tires. I gotta buy some more. But these have got the riveted together, but I just drill them out and get some 256 screws, 1 inch long, and put them together in nut and bolts. This is the Mantua Tyco version. So this one came out in the late 70s, early 80s for the Canadian set, and this here is got to have his hole drilled out more, I take it. We'll just do that while I got it in my hands. Sometimes the hole's gotta be drilled deeper. Like that. And this should go there, just like that. That's the sand drill. Now I'm going to do this one. No, you don't want to come out of there. So do that later date. That's all you have to do with those. Sometimes all these just deepen the hole down. I see these guys put them on with a little bit of glue that hopefully I can get off of there. But just drill them out, then just tap them in, Tyco says. So there we go, one off the front. Okay, so with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say I am happy with that conversion project, and I can't wait to see it with its hand drills on it. And its rear ends closed in with his couplers on him, and I'll get his styrene and everything, get him all closed in. And as soon as I get the layout back up and running, I can put it on the layout and just let him go for a while, or make some laps and wear in, and seat the brushes, seat everything. Then we'll have a nice little SD24 that can MU with my other SD24 Atlas units. I have the SD35s, the whole whack of them that they had in 75, the F units. And I also got a couple of the Centuries units and the RS3 and everything that can all go together. And this will make a nice little unit to, since it's got the steam generation equipment in it, to put on for a spare on the head of the pasture train if it needs it, with the FP7. So I can go with the FP7 or the this one for a fill-in locomotive, as sometimes they have to do in a thing. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, from all of us at Pacific Grand Western Railway, thank you for tuning in, and if you like, give a thumbs up or a share or a comment or whatever. I'll be appreciate the channel. We're up to 57 subscribers and growing. So if you pass the word around, and all the better, and catch you in the next video. Thank you very much for joining in.